sometimes when we are discussing certain matters, especially in the cell, that certain things that works for Curacao does not necessarily work for St. Martin, and those are areas that sometimes conflict. And
what do you mean? What do you mean by becoming a conflict? Is it that Curacao is saying that that what works here should work in St. Martin?
Yeah, because we are given a advice to Parliament, advice that is a consensus between the different members of Parliament. But what I'm saying that sometimes it happens that, and that's why I love to be at those meetings so that I can defend St. Martin, because our thing is to defend the entire Antilles. But of course, when you come from the island of St. Martin, you have to make sure that your people is considered in whatever matter you're discussing. So if it's a matter of, let's say for example, of raising the oil prices, let's call something hypothetically that our oil prices for whatever reason is going to be raised or increased, then we would say, hey, in St. Martin it's difficult because of the fact that we have a situation where we are just not just an island on its own. We have the French side to consider, which none of the other islands have that particular situation, and we have to consider that as well. In other areas too, we have a very very high cost of living, and those are areas that we discuss and we make sure that we bring them forward so that when we come to a consensus that all of those areas would be taken into consideration.
Has it ever been brought to the floor that St. Martin's minimum wage can be at least 25 or 2,400 guilders instead of 1,300?
No, 2,400 guilders is very, very high. Leaving from 1,100 guilders to 2,400 guilders, I don't see where the employers is going to agree with that. But you have to do it on a gradual stage. You have to make sure that you are realistic and increasing the minimum wage. I was hearing, I'm not sure what the amount is, but I'll make a research on that. The French side of St. Martin, I believe they give over 1,000 euros as the minimum wage, which is about, I think, over 2,000 guilders or something like that. I don't know exactly the total amount, but I'm hearing that they give a very high minimum wage. But then again, they can do that because their social situation over there, the persons that work, they put a lot of money into social security to make sure that those monies are covered, because the monies has to come from someplace. You can't just raise minimum wages just like that and don't expect that you're going to get a repercussion. For example, if you keep on raising the minimum wage and you don't control, for example, prices for the consumers, then you're not really fixing the problem. Because you can say, okay, I want my employees to earn an amount of, let's say, 1,800 guilders. But then the employers would then go back, if you don't have any control on that, they would go back and say, okay, we have no problem with it since you insist. But then our prices on our products or our services would then increase as well. And then you go back to the same situation where they still would have to pay more money. And then when you look at the net balance that the people or the employers are remaining with, remains the same thing. And that is not solving any problem.
So 2,400 is a bit high. That would be a argument from the employer's point of view. Do you all use the CBS statistics also when you all are working out social?
We of course we use all statistics that we can get. We bring in experts that would explain exactly what the situation would be, so that so
do they also attend these meetings? Or
they come into the meetings. Whenever there's a discussion where, for example, if there's a discussion with telecommunication, we bring in a telecommunication expert, or we bring in somebody from the telecommunication bureau, the Bureau for Telecommunication, to explain us exactly, the amendments that we are discussing, so that we have a better idea, and in order for us to be able to make an advice to government